Ayo's mom replied, I gave birth to her age and healthy with every part of her body complete. So I am very sure if she got blind today, she will always remember that it was his brother that threw stone at her. That is what she will be using to remember his brother throughout her lifetime. Ayo's dad shook his head and left the scene, while Ayo's mom looked at her and hissed her mother some word aloud. You think I have your time? If you like, kill yourself, I don't care. Ayo looked at her mom and shook her head too. Then it was done on Ayo to be careful with her life, because if she died, she just died at her own peril. This woman didn't care about her existence. Immediately Ayo got home and told her brother Ajayi that she was promoted to primary 3. Ajayi suggested to their mom that since Ayo is now in primary 3, she should start washing plates, because he started washing plates when he was in primary 3. Their mom immediately agreed to it. That was how Ayo started washing plates for the whole family of 7. And this happened on the first day of vacation. During the holiday, Ayo didn't know the enormous of the responsibility given to her until when the school resumed and she would be waking up by 6 a.m. to start washing plates before preparing for school. On the first day of resumption, so many things have changed. Miss Clara, Ayo's favorite teacher, and 2 other teachers have been transferred out of the school and the head teacher. It was the new head teacher that addressed the school, and he introduced himself as Mr. Brown. This new head teacher was a very tall man with wrinkles on his face due to age. Not only that, he was not well dressed as expected by Ayo. He said in his address that he was about to retire from the government service after working in so many towns and villages in Ondo State in Nigeria. He was posted to his hometown since he was an indigent of Eruga. He speaks loudly like someone working in the factory than a head teacher when he was addressing the school. The whole scene was a surprise to Ayo when he heard the man saying, I am now the new headmaster of this school. Ayo was surprised because the former head teacher was a light-complexioned young man who was always well-dressed with his children, a boy and a girl, who were always well-dressed in their school uniform. These headmaster children always stand beside their dad's car before the morning assembly. It was during the assembly that they joined their class to participate in the morning prayers before going to their respective classes. And they do the same during the afternoon assembly. Moreover, 3 new teachers were introduced on the same day. One of them was Miss Kuti, a short woman, dark in complexion, with a round face. She had a mismatched eye with a large nose. When she was introduced in the assembly, he had a white powder on her face. She had a fierce look, white and open teeth, and she was well dressed. Merely looking at her, you will observe she was a very street woman. Miss Clara, a beautiful young lady, moderate nose and wide mouth, light in complexion with a round face, and a moderate height. And the last one was Mrs. Adamolekun, who was a very fat, light in complexion, well-dressed lady, and she wore a simple white gown. Everything about her was perfect, and she was the most beautiful of them all. Miss Kuti to start taking primary 3A, which was Ayo's class. Miss Kalajaye primary 4B, while Miss Adamolekun to take primary 1B. During the assembly, Ayo noticed a new girl join their class. Her presence alone in the assembly was a threat to Ayo. The very first day she set her eyes on her, she was confident, well-dressed with a newly sewn uniform, which made her look beautiful. Her hair was well cut, and she was the only one in that class that put on school sandals. When Ayo sighted her, she noticed the confidence in her outlook. She was the first person in Ayo's class on the assembly row. Immediately, Ayo sighted her on the assembly ground. Something whispered to her, "Ayo, this girl is more brilliant than you. She will be the one leading the class if you are not hardworking." This was whispering to Ayo throughout the assembly. That premonition was what brought Ayo on her toes and made her act as a game player to her new teacher, who was seeing her for the first time. After the assembly, Miss Kuti entered into Ayo's class and introduced herself as their new class teacher and continued with the classwork. But Ayo was the first pupil to be beaten, and it was all her fault. The first class was given by Miss Kuti to the class was that the pupil should write from 101 to 1000. Within 15 minutes, Ayo submitted her exercise book with the impression that she had finished writing, of which she wrote the whole numbers in 10 lines. Miss Kuti, being an experienced teacher, told Ayo, "I am sure you have not written well. Calm down and write it properly. I did not want to beat anybody today, being the first day in the school." Ayo boldly said she has finished writing, despite the piloting of Miss Kuti. When Miss Kuti checked her book, she disappointedly told Ayo to start all over. Ayo wrote about 20 lines again, and she said she was done. Miss Kuti repeatedly said, "This girl, you are not patient in your writing. I'm sure you didn't get it correctly this second time." Truthfully, Ayo didn't get it as guessed by Miss Kuti. Thus, Ayo was to start all over again. The main reason Ayo was doing all this was because she had always been a fast writer and a brilliant girl. At least, she led the class in primary 2 to primary 3. So she wanted to be the first to finish, first to submit, and mostly score the highest mark. But her book was cancelled for the third time, and she was told to start all over again. At this time, Ayo had calmed down, but before she got to figure 500, about 2 of her classmates had submitted their classwork and had been given a better grade, which Ayo envied. But with all this, Ayo was the third to the last to finish writing. In annoyance, Miss Kuti brought out a cane from the class cupboard and said, "You this girl, if not that I'm newly posted here, I will have dealt with you severely, because I can see you are not concentrating on your classwork." So she gave Ayo 3 strokes of cane and said, "Don't let me hate you in this class." Besides, this new class was a bit different for Ayo, because in primary 1, she was writing with chalk on her slate, while in primary 2, she was writing with pencil and crayons. But in primary 3, she was introduced to pen and the use of textbook for her classwork. The following day, Ayo calmed down like a chicken bitten by rain. Thus, she got her classwork correctly and continued in that vein with her classwork steadily. In the evening of the second day, this new teacher, Miss Kuti, moved into the vacant room in Ayo's house. Ayo was happy within her that since her class teacher now lived with her parents in the same house, she would be pampered and favored than other pupils in the class. Will this dream and expectation of Ayo come to pass? Watch out. Thanks for watching this video, and don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Miss Kuti narrated how Joseph's brother hated him and sold him into slavery because of his dreams. For he had dreamed that he and his brother were gathering hay in the farm, and suddenly his hair rose up, and the hair of his elder brother bowed down for him. And he told it to his brother. Shortly after that dream, he had another dream in which 11 stars, the moon, and the sun bowed for him. His brother hated him for his dream and sold him into slavery so that his dream will not be fulfilled. But he was favored by God and was promoted to the position of the prime minister in a strange land.